Global warming is a current issue that affects our planet negatively. Some of us here may be wondering what exactly is global warming, or how does it affect us, what can we do to stop it? So let's take a look at what global warming is. The NRDC, which is the Natural Resources Defense Council, explains that temperature fluctuations are natural and occur in our natural planet. However, over the past few years, our average temperatures has been rising steadily. So today we will look at what are some causes of global warming, what is the problem, and what are some solutions that we can do about it. So starting with the problems, we're going to look at some data from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and they show that the Earth's average temperature has been rising steadily. Over the past 100 years, it's risen about 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit, and they estimated that it will rise between 2 to 11 degrees Fahrenheit over the next century. And they can safely say that humans are largely responsible for this temperature influx. The emissions of greenhouse gases has increased 16 times between the year 1900 and 2008. So now that we see these stats and how dangerous global warming is, let's look at the problems. And the dimensions it affects us include weather, our glaciers, wildlife and ecosystems, and also our health. And we'll start with the weather. Life science has linked the extreme weather that we've been having directly to climate changes. Warm air causes warmer oceans, and that causes more frequent and extreme storms such as hurricanes. Also, the temperature increases can also lead to increased likelihood for droughts, which can then cause more wildfires in some regions. In other regions, it can cause intense rainfall, which can then lead to flooding. And then as it affects the weather, it'll trickle down and affect the wildlife and ecosystems. Life science has shown that the warming temperatures are making species want to migrate north to colder climates. However, some species are limited, are not able to move. They're forced to adapt or go extinct. National Geographic has shown that the temperature rises are causing plants to go into bloom earlier, and this is a problem because their pollinator partners, such as bees, may not be ready as early as they are pollinating, and this will cause issues in the plant's reproduction cycle. And then, of course, the warm air is melting the ice caps and the ice on which polar bears depend on, and some of them are getting stranded out in the open ocean and drowning because of it. So speaking of ice caps and our glaciers are disappearing. NASA has indicated that our current melting rate is about 9% per 10 years. Our Arctic ice thickness has dropped 40% since the year 1960. And these rates, at these rates, our Arctic, it's safe to say that it can be ice-free by the year 2040, and Glacier National Park is expected to have no glaciers by the year 2070. And I have a diagram here to show the Arctic steady decrease in the ice. Up here is Alaska and Russia, and you can see how it steadily increased, and these are estimations for the future. So, but then, how does it affect our health directly? Well, StopGlobalWarming.com has indicated that the increases in temperature has increased populations of disease-carrying animals such as mosquitoes and rodents. And this is problematic because it can lead to potential outbreaks in malaria, dengue fever, and encephalitis. Harvard doctors have already linked recent outbreaks of these diseases directly to the climate change. So now that we've looked at the problems and the fundamentals of what global warming can do, let's look at some causes of global warming. The cause of global warming is greenhouse gases are thickening the atmosphere, and this is not allowing the heat that radiates in from the sun to escape our atmosphere. The NRDC has indicated that in the U.S., coal power plants are the #1 producer of greenhouse gases, and they produce about 2.5 tons per year. The second largest source are automobiles, and they produce about 1.5 tons. And then I have a pie chart here to show the breakdown of greenhouse gas emissions and the largest categories. We have electricity, like I said, the power plants, transportation, and then industry. Commercial and residential is what we use, and then agriculture. And these rates have been steadily increasing by 8% since 1990. So now that we've looked at all the problems and the causes, let's see some solutions that we can do to fix it. Some possible solutions, we can look at stopglobalwarming.org. They have a list of many ways that we can take at home, action tips, that we can take at home to decrease our greenhouse gas emissions. And then, of course, we can research and take part in our local politics and support politicians that are for funding of research for clean energy and reducing the burning of fossil fuels. And then lastly, we can spread the word to our neighbors and friends. The actions that we take at home to become more green and efficient are stuff that they can do at home as well. So in conclusion, we can see how dangerous and how pertinent the issue of global warming is. So I urge you all to go to stopglobalwarming.org and look at their action tip list and see the stuff that we can change on our own personal level. This is just an example of some of the stuff that you can do at your own house to reduce your greenhouse gas emissions. And not only can you help save the planet, but you can save money. Thank you.
Yay!